Oh, man, and I love it. Jaron Ennis speaks on the Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach fight, and I couldn't wait to make this video. Man, so I put out a video earlier today, and I broke down, it was an hour-long video, people. I broke down the Tank Davis fight versus Lamont Roach and let you know what I believe and how you could even arrive at a draw, because some people seem to be confused. And I told people, anybody who watched that video, if not, I'll try to put a card at the end of this video, that people coming out with all this controversy mostly is because of him taking a knee, which I agree was bizarre, which I agree a referee could rule a knockdown. Nobody's disputing that, but he didn't. That's it. No more, no less. Blown call. It is what it is, you know, and people didn't expect this from Lamont Roach. So then that's where the emotions come up. Oh, man, it was a robbery. And now I got to prove, like always, that Roger Mayweather was correct. And most don't know ish about boxing, and they sure enough don't. So I made the hour-long video. I broke it down and said everything I needed to say. There were comments, all kinds of comments, supporting me, agreeing. Again, it's a mixed bag. It comes with the territory. People insulting me, saying I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm wrong. I don't know boxing. So we're going to take a listen to Jaron Ennis, who just did a brand new interview with YSM Sports Media. This is why emotions don't pay off in the sport of boxing. Decorated IBF champion at welterweight, arguably the best guy at welterweight, Jaron Ennis comes from a fight town. He was asked specifically about Tank versus Roach on this interview with YSM Sports Media. Let's listen to what Mr. Boots Ennis had to say. Shall we? Roll the clip.
It was a great fight, you know. I had it 7-5 Tank, or you can make it the draw, but I feel like Lamont, he did good. He did a great job, actually, and I just don't think he did enough to pull it off, you know. And I feel like people was overlooking what Tank was doing in the first like 5-6 rounds. You know, he was like boxing and frustrating him a little bit, you know. But Lamont, like I said before, Lamont did a great job, you know.
Yeah, some people had it Tank, some people had it draw, some people had it Lamont. Do you think Tank gets a lot of criticism for not knocking Lamont out and Lamont not being a big name, so they overblow it?
I think so, yeah, and I feel like people just don't like Tank to a point where any little thing, just because he ain't knock him out, he probably feel as though that he lost and he didn't, or it was a draw, you know. I feel like Tank was doing a lot of smart things in the beginning, moving a little bit too much, but I feel like he was still like frustrating him and things like that. And I think Tank did a good job. Like, he looked sharp than me. You know, I don't know. People just be talking. You know, at the end of the day, you can't please everybody.
Shout out to Jaron Ennis. Listen, I'm already was watching his fight, but I'm definitely watching this kid fight. Because I like to hear people that know boxing. There's boxers who box, but don't really, their takes be wild and crazy, right? I can appreciate what I just heard from Jaron Ennis. Great stuff. Now, this is where you guys get cooked. I told you, you guys are too emotional. Ennis, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, which you know I'm not, because I'm the best in the business and it's not even close. Virtually said verbatim what I've been telling you. He said, I don't know. Tank looks sharp to me. People just be talking. People just don't like Tank. Literally what I've said on my channel. So when you don't like Terrence Crawford, another great fighter, he literally said in the interview, I just don't like Tank. I really don't like dude. So him running to Twitter and saying Lamont Roach won, plus both of his little homies, Shakur Stevenson and Keyshawn Davis, are guys that could be in line to at some point fight Tank. Why would I take that perspective. That sounds like a perspective that clearly has some bias there, right? Jaron Ennis, to my knowledge, don't have a horse in the race. Yes, he trains with Andy Cruz, but Andy Cruz is calling out Keyshawn. He's not. I haven't really heard Andy Cruz calling out Tank like that. So Jaron Ennis can speak his mind unadulterated, unfiltered, without a horse in the race, and he's saying exactly what I said. People just don't like Tank. So any little thing, you know, the fact that Lamont Roach did better than what people had expectations for, it just created this. Then the knee, and that's it. Literally, he's on record. He said Tank was looking sharp to me. He used some movement, you know, maybe slightly too much, but he was boxing smart, frustrating Lamont Roach. And he says people sleep on what Tank. Listen again.
Roach, people looking at it as, what'd you think of the fight?
It was a great fight. You know, I had it 7-5 Tank, or
I had it 7-5 Tank, or he said a draw could work. So he had Tank winning. Remember when Boxing Ego in that video I did earlier today said Tank won the fight? So you guys said, oh, you don't know boxing. So does Jaron Boots Ennis know boxing, an actual boxer?
or you can make it.
Let's run it again.
7-5 Tank, or you can.
Notice he said 7-5 Tank, or maybe even a draw, right? Again, what I said I wasn't even tripping off a draw. I had Tank winning personally, but there's some mistakes that Tank made in there. So cool. If you had it a draw, fine. I wasn't even tripping. It doesn't count as a loss on either guy's record. Roach gets credit for, doing better than expected, and Tank doesn't lose his belt when he shouldn't have lost his belt, right? You guys just go look at the comments of that video and then compare it to this. Jaron Ennis literally saying exactly what I said. And notice he never once said Lamont Roach won. He said Tank, maybe even a draw, but I don't think Lamont Roach did enough to win and beat the champion. He said he did good, did very good.
You can make it the draw, but I feel like Lamont, he did good. He did a great job, actually. I just don't think he did enough to pull it off. And I feel like people was overlooking what Tank was doing in the first 5-6 rounds. He was boxing and frustrating him a little bit.
Man, I'm great. So that's what I'm saying. I'm always on the front line of boxing. You guys, when you calm down and the emotions settle, got to go back and watch the fight. What I said the first time is what I'm saying now. I don't have to change. But when people's temper starts to come down and their emotions start to come down, now people are starting to, the fight has, you got adrenaline, it's fight night and stuff like that. But now that's over and emotions subside. I am a true stoic, so I don't worry about these things, right? Ego Aurelius. So I was always looking at it level-headed. He literally just said what I've been telling you. And I said in my video, if you don't believe me, watch the video at the end of this. He said, I don't think Lamont, he did great, which is what I said. I said, no knock on Lamont Roach. He did better than people expected, but I expected that. You guys didn't expect it. You guys slighted Roach. You guys said he was a bum. You guys said it was a cherry pick for Tank. You guys said he's a taxi driver. I never said that. You will not find one video where I was bashing the fight and saying that Lamont Roach was not worthy of a fight. Styles make fights, and I knew he's a great fighter on a win streak, and he knew Tank from the amateurs. I also said in my video earlier that in the first 6 rounds, 3 of the judges, right? Well, 2 of the official judges and 1 unofficial scorer on the broadcast had Tank winning 5 of the first 6 rounds. And people said, who cared? No, this is wrong. Boots just said the same thing. Literally verbatim. I love it.
Was overlooking what Tank was doing in the first 5-6 rounds. And I feel like people was overlooking what Tank was doing in the first 5-6 rounds.
I got to be the best in the business. Enough said. People are overlooking what Tank was doing in the first 5 or 6 rounds. He was looking sharp. He was boxing well. When I said that in my video earlier, people had a problem with it. Now you're hearing it from an IBF champion who boxes. Checkmate.